Okay, today I'm making a Milky Way cake. We're starting out, we have 8 full-size bars of Milky Way that we're going to melt and set aside to put in the cake. We'll use a whole stick of unsalted butter. You'll make sure you have your heat on low. And we have 8 full-size candy bars. And we're going to melt these together and put them in our cake. In our cake batter, we'll have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, a ½ teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt. We'll have 4 eggs. We'll have a 1.5 cups of buttermilk, 2 cups of sugar, and we'll get it all started. We're going to start by making our Milky Way, and we'll let that cool down, and we'll add it to the cake at the end. Make sure you're watching your candy and your butter, and make sure you wait until everything is fully melted, and then once that is melted, you set it aside, and then we will start by mixing our other ingredients together. See, it's not completely melted, it's just getting started good. Okay, on the Milky Way cake, we're going to start out with our 2 sticks of butter, unsalted butter, but you can use salted. If you use salted, just don't add any salt to your recipe. Let that mix just a little, and then we'll add in our sugar. Okay, I'm going to add in my sugar, and I'm going to let that mix together for about 8 minutes until it becomes light and fluffy. Okay, make sure in between times you stop your mixer and you scrape down your bowl, because you don't want all the sugar crystals to remain on the side of the bowl, and you want to make sure that your sugar and your butter are all creaming together. Okay, I'm going to add my vanilla. I'm going to put about a teaspoon. And let it continue mixing. Okay. Now once we get this mixed together, I'm just scraping down the bowl. I did this a couple of times during the process to make sure that everything was together. Okay, now this is light and fluffy. This is what you want your sugar and your butter to look like. Okay, now we'll add in our eggs one at a time. And after we add in our eggs, we'll turn the mixer down, and then we'll add in our flour mixture and our milk. And if while you're mixing more than 1 egg falls, it's okay. You just mix it just a little bit longer. You don't have to wait until the egg is totally mixed in. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in at the time. But once that yellow breaks, you can go ahead and add the next egg. Now we're adding in our last egg. And I'm going to turn it down to low. We're going to add our flour mixture along with our milk. You don't want to overmix. Okay. Now I am going to continue mixing just a little by hand. I'm going to fold in our Milky Ways. Okay. I'm going to make sure everything's combined. Now, here is our Milky Ways that were melted. See all that rich caramel? Trying to get all of it, all the chocolate goodness out. See? Now we're going to fold this caramel together with our batter. And once we get it all blended, we are going to put it in our cake pans. Okay, now we're adding our batter to the pan, and we will cook it at 325 for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Just making sure I get the air bubbles out. That's delicious. Now we'll put it in the oven. Set my timer. All right, we'll check it in about an hour. Okay, now I'm going to take my cake out of the pan. Oh, that looks beautiful. See how beautiful that looks? Okay, now we're going to make our glaze. We'll start out with 3 full-size Milky Way bars, a stick of butter. We're going to use a tablespoon of milk. I'm using coffee creamer. You can use whatever kind of milk you want. And we're going to use a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're going to heat this up on low. Let it melt, and once it all melts, we will add a cup of powdered sugar. And then we will pour it on our cake. The cake is still warm. Okay, I'm melting my chocolate Milky Way, full-size bar. I'm stirring it because I don't want it to stick and to burn. We're almost there. Like I said, it is a tablespoon of milk of your choice, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 3 Milky Way bars, and a stick of butter. And once this is totally melted the way you want it, then we'll put in a cup of powdered sugar. And once we mix that together, we will pour it on the cake. This is my first time trying this, so we'll see how it turns out. See how my chocolate is getting so creamy. I'll turn that off. This is a half a cup measuring cup. That's 1. You see, I do make messes. See, right now it's a bit lumpy. So, I am stirring it to thin it out, well, to get the lumps out. Almost where I want it. I almost got all my lumps out. Let's see how it looks. I'm sorry for my light. That's turn my eye off. Okay, now that we have our chocolate nice and fluffy, it's still hot. We'll pour it on our cake. The glaze cools so fast. Okay, I cut up a Milky Way bar, and I'm just going to add some Milky Way pieces on top of the cake. But this is a Milky Way. Here's some Milky Way cake. It is still warm. I'm going to let it cool before I cut it. Okay, now my cake is cool. I am going to cut it. Let's see. Oh wow, look at that. That looks delicious. This is the inside. Let's try it. This is delicious. It tastes just like a Milky Way. It's nice and chocolatey, and it's moist. Try this recipe and let me know what you would like for me to make. If it's anything that you can think of that you want to see in a cake, let me know and we'll do it.